Hey guys, welcome back to some more F1 2017 and part 12 of our career mode with Renault in Season 1. And today we have the British Grand Prix, our home Grand Prix, and hopefully we'll have a good performance to go with that. Chris has just given me a bit of a summary of the sort of R&D sort of development race. We're sort of losing out on Toro Rosso, who've made big gains, and Force India have only made one upgrade so far, so hopefully we'll be able to catch them in the next few races. But yeah, it's looking good in the season so far. We want to beat Felipe Massa this weekend though, most definitely. There's all the teams' progress so far this season, looking good for us. That is the performance tree, if you like, or the performance grid, if you like. A couple of more upgrades for us, and I think we'll be in the running. I think next I am going to go for another powertrain update. It's going to be 1,000 resource points. Hopefully we'll have enough by the end of qualifying today. I think power unit wise we're doing alright. I think we are going to need a couple more as the season goes on. The gearbox, this one's actually looking alright. It's done 2 races and it's only 22% worn, so that's brilliant news. So hopefully we won't need any more new gearboxes this season. But I digress, and I will now hand over to the qualifying report with Toby.
At the midpoint of the 2017 season, Silverstone is a good test of car development and driver speed. Marcus Ericsson originally qualified last but jumps up 2 places to 18th due to penalties for competitors, and Pascal Wehrlein starts in P16. Both Haas cars take gearbox penalties, and Grosjean starts 17th with Magnussen in 19th. Carlos Sainz also takes a penalty and starts at the back, with Daniel Kvyat unaffected in P14. There was drama in Q2 as Daniel Ricciardo broke down and could only achieve 12th, and his teammate starts alongside him after a gearbox penalty. Both Williams cars also take penalties, and as a result Massa starts 10th with Stroll in 15th. McLaren and particularly Van Dorn take advantage of this, with the Belgian starting in 9th and Alonso starting in 13th. Force India and Renault take up the 3rd and 4th rows, with Hanard taking P5, Perez P6, Ocon P7 and Hulkenberg in P8. With rumours that Hanard has been made the Renault lead driver, are they giving him the parts and car to beat Hulkenberg? In the top 4 battle, Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen on the 2nd row are separated by 300ths, with the Mercedes driver Bottas coming out the better, and the same applies on the front row, with Sebastian Vettel 400ths off home pole sitter Lewis Hamilton. With 2 Brits high up on the grid, can Hanard and Hamilton get a podium, or will the other drivers cause an upset for the British fans? It's time to go to Crofty and Ant in the commentary box for the British Grand Prix.
It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Or as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. And judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Raikkonen, Renault and Perez, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Van Dorn and Felipe Massa, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso and Kvyat, Stroll, Wehrlein, Romain Grosjean and Marcus Ericsson, Magnussen and Carlos Sainz starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
So here we are down on the track at our home Grand Prix, as Jeff said. And yeah, it's raining for the entirety of the Grand Prix. We're starting in P5 like we did in Monaco. Qualified P7, it was a good lap, and we were only 4/10ths off pole position, so starting 5th is not too bad at all. Yeah, Nico in 8th as well. Hopefully we can get some good points for the constructors today. Our pace in the wet is quite good. So hopefully, as I said, we can get a good result and impress the other teams. You know, Silverstone is one of the main races. I'd like to think we're already impressing most of the grid with our performances this season. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, very wet Silverstone today. I don't know whether it's going to get any more wet. First race on the intermediate tyres. I've done driving on the Inters, but I've never done a race on the Inters, and it's certainly going to be an experience. Obviously, Monaco, we had quite a good race. We stayed in 5th, but that was Monaco. We could easily stay ahead of people around there. We've got some people, obviously like Massa, that have dropped positions. Most of the grid have had penalties in this Grand Prix, so definitely something needs changing with that. You don't see that many penalties at a Grand Prix weekend. We obviously seen it at Italy, but that's sort of the new engine specs have come out at Italy, so yeah. But no, I think 5th place, if we can maintain our position. Hopefully jump Raikkonen off the start, you know, and maybe have a bit of fun up top. That would be really fun if we get off to a brilliant start and lead the Grand Prix, but I think Hamilton's got this one in the bag and it'll get him back into the championship battle. Hopefully a safety car at some point as well to mix things up. But the rain is definitely an equaliser, and it'll all be about who can nail the 13 laps of Silverstone, and hopefully it'll be us. But here we go, lining up for the race start now. This is our highest starting position, equal with Monaco. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We've got Perez right behind us. Ocon's there as well, and then obviously Nico Hulkenberg. Hopefully they can all get off to a good start and we can have a really fun race today. Well, here we are on the grid. Oh, I'm nervous for this one. I really want to do well here at Silverstone. I'm not traditionally quick round here, but changeable conditions in qualifying allowed us to qualify quite high. So here we go. Ready? Lights out, away we go here at Silverstone, our home Grand Prix. We're off the grid very well indeed, but we're bogged down slightly as we start, and we go around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen through turn 1. I was keeping an eye on Vettel up ahead because he seemed to go wide as well. Hamilton seems to have bolted, but we're up to P4 at the start, which is exactly what we wanted. We wanted to jump Raikkonen and get in front of him at the start of this Grand Prix. We've got a bit of extra fuel in hand, so we are going to go rich just for this opening stage, just to see how far we can get in 4th position. I'm pretty sure we'll soon start dropping down the field. Middle sector, we were pretty much on the bubble with Lewis Hamilton in qualifying, so I know in the middle sector we've got the pace, but 1st and 3rd we definitely were left wanting. But come through Cops flat out in qualifying, definitely not in the rain and in the race on a heavy tank of fuel. We'll come through Maggots and Beckett's now for the first time, and sort of keeping Bottas honest, but not a lot of pressure on him at the moment. And Vettel up ahead trying to close down Lewis Hamilton, but Hamilton not under too much pressure. We've got Kimi Raikkonen right behind us now. We're going to have to defend going into Stowe, and well, Raikkonen has a little luck, but I think we're all just settling in to these conditions and trying to get our confidence back as we start this race under the wet conditions. Here comes Kimi then. He's having a look down the inside into Stowe corner, but backs out of it. And we stay in 4th position for now. We've lost a little bit of time to Valtteri up ahead, but that's to be expected. We haven't quite got the pace of Mercedes or Ferrari. So 4th place is about the best we can ask for at this particular moment. But Kimi Räikkönen is surely going to pass us at some point in this race. And so we're approaching the halfway mark in this British Grand Prix. For some reason they want us to box, so I'm not boxing. Yeah, we're still in 4th place. We seem to have Räikkönen under control. Obviously without the DRS he can't seem to get enough straight line speed to really pass us. He might have a look into this corner, but yeah, we just have a little bit better traction than Kimi through most of the corners. He's running in the dirty air, of course, but you know, we're driving at a much higher speed than the cars behind, and you know, they're not even close to us, so it's not as if I'm holding everybody up, I'm just holding Kimi up. But yeah, we're losing about a second a lap to Valtteri. Don't know whether it would be worth putting on a new set of inters. I think we would go quicker, but I don't think we'd make up the time that we need to make up. Still no retirements in this race so far, and we're looking good for 4th place as it stands. The rain doesn't look like it's going to ease up, so it looks like it's going to be a pretty relaxed finish to the end of this race. So we're going into the final lap, and yeah, just being on cruise control really. We've managed to keep Räikkönen off. You know, he's been in that 1 second window the whole race. If it was dry or if the DRS was enabled, Kimi would have passed 10 laps ago, but I don't know who that is that's slowing down. Could be anybody. One of the top 3 though, we could be in for a podium, but I don't think it will be. So Bottas only 12.5 seconds ahead of us. I don't think that's too bad. Losing a second a lap to the Mercedes is probably what we'd expect, and you know, to be finishing 4th is a really good result. We've kind of left Kimi for dead now. He tends to catch up through cops, but not this time. We go a little bit wide, but not too wide. And now we're going through Maggots and Beckett's for the final time. And yeah, we seem to have the hang of the wet weather. Finishing 5th in Monaco, and now about to finish 4th at our home Grand Prix. And Kimi Räikkönen is gone. There's no doubt about that. And Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix, makes up for that retirement last time out, the engine failure in Austria, which hurt his title chances. But Lewis Hamilton has won the Grand Prix. Oh no, we've run out of fuel. Come on. Ugh, we've just made it. Oh goodness me, I don't know why Räikkönen didn't overtake us, but we ran out of fuel there. That's quite hilarious, but never mind. We'll let David Croft and Anthony Davidson take you through the race results.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a good result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, I have to give it to Lewis Hamilton. You know, it was just the kind of drive you'd expect from a multiple world champion.
On to the constructors then. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So there we have it, Lewis Hamilton winning the British Grand Prix, Nico Hulkenberg finishing in 7th, a really good result for him, and both of us finishing ahead of both Red Bulls. I finished above the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen. If we look at the standings, that's us up to 7th now, ahead of Sergio Perez, ahead of Felipe Massa. I don't think we're going to catch Max Verstappen if we finish 7th this season. It's a really good achievement. Nico Hulkenberg up to 11th with that result. Looking into the constructors, we're now up to 4th. That is where we want to be this season. That's where we want to finish, above Force India, above Williams, and that'll give us a good, strong position to go into next season, where we're looking to hopefully challenge for podiums and maybe the odd win here and there. But yeah, I'll now see you in the hospitality suite, because I think we're going to do an update. So there we have it. We have 1200 resource points to spend. We're now caught up in the rivalry to Massa, and we've also went up in pretty much every team standing, which is good. And there's our career score. Oh,
nothing like being trackside at a Grand Prix, huh? Change of direction on these things is insane. I own a single-seater that I take club racing, but comparatively speaking, it's like a kid's pedal cart. And speaking of pedals, I need to borrow your right foot again. We have invitations to 2 more historic events, and we've got to choose one. So, take your pick.
well, we have another whatchamacallit, another classic car part of this series coming up. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. The upgrade that we're going to go for is the powertrain update, and we'll hopefully have that on the car in the next couple of episodes. So if you've enjoyed that, make sure you leave a like down below. It really does mean a lot for me and for the channel, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.